Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is data download time once again, which means of course today we gotta go ahead and break down everything that is going to be coming into the game very soon. We're breezing through part 1 of the Golden Week celebration. We're getting ready for part 2 of the celebration, of course, very soon. We don't have any official confirmation for the part 2 LR quite yet, but we still need something to look forward to. With this data download today, we can go ahead and talk about some new characters, some new EZAs, and some new content. I am very excited for this. I hope you guys are excited, and I hope you guys will enjoy the vid. If you guys enjoyed the vid today, be sure to show your support, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, comment down below your thoughts. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this. The first thing I want to do is to go ahead and just recap what are we getting overall with this data download. So shout out to Proton10mg, a GOAT once again with this sort of stuff. He is great when it comes to summarizing what we're getting in a data download. So with this data download, as we're going through like the middle of the Golden Week celebration, we're getting a new World Tournament character, some new World Tournament EZAs. We already have the ESBR stage for Miraculous Awakening already out right now. I will say this stage was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. I saw Beast go on take some damage for me. I had Texture Breeze Cell take damage for me and lose 1 or 2 runs, so that was pretty shocking right there. We got the new EZA battle coming for LR Hit and Super Saiyan God Goku, because we already had their EZA announced and everything. I already broke that down in my last vid, so check that out of course if you want. But you know, we have to get their stage and everything for their medals, so we're gonna look forward to that. We have the World Tournament coming, so in the grand scheme of things, this data download is not the craziest in the world, but it still has some nice things to offer. You know, it still has some things that we can enjoy as we go into part 2 of the celebration, where we're probably going to see a lot more things to look forward to in terms of new LR, probably some new EZAs, probably some other added stages and hard difficulty and stuff. So yeah, you know, pretty tame data download right now, but I think it's okay as we go into like a more hype part for part 2, I think, with the celebration. Alright, anyways, we got all that sort of stuff. I will talk about the stages and everything later in the vid. First thing I want to cover though is the new characters. So obviously this is our new World Tournament character, Mecha Frieza. We got our 4 EZAs, Bojack, Future Gohan, Mercenary Tao, and Tien. We'll talk about their kits, we'll talk about how you want to build them and stuff, then we'll go into the events. So first thing is first, Mecha Frieza. So our new World Tournament character, let's see what you can do, right? Free to play character, so extreme type, key plus 3, HP attack and defense plus 90%. This is bad. This is a terrible leader skill. I wish free-to-play characters had better leader skills, but it is what it is. Don't want to run this guy for a leader. Super attack effect, greatly raise attack and raise defense for 1 turn, do supreme damage and lowers attack. We do appreciate some debuffing, but not the craziest super attack effect, but we do appreciate the debuffing, and honestly, what is important is the passive skill. That's what's really important. Key plus 3, attack and defense plus 180% flat out, boosting Revenge and Wicked Bloodline category allies by giving them additional attack plus 60% and defense plus 30%. When attacking, 120% to his attack and defense increase. When there is another Revenge or Wicked Bloodline ally in the same turn, another increase of 120% to stats, launch additional guaranteed super for more debuffing and stuff. Also, boosting crit chance by 60% and damage reduction rate by 30% when attacking with 12 or more key. And that's the passive right there. Link skills, you know, okay, no big bad bosses, which does suck. I don't know if Mecha Frieza has ever had big bad bosses, but not having one of the best links in the game for villains does suck for sure. Categories, you know, he's on, 11 categories. Successors is nice, Sworn Enemies, Revenge, and Human Deeds. Gifted Warriors, Target Goku, Terrifying Conqueror, Cell Saga, Resurrected Warriors, Transformation Boost, Wicked Bloodline. Yeah, not the most diverse character for categories, but still not the worst character categorically speaking as well, so I do appreciate that. But, you know, when we talk about Frieza, this guy does not seem that good. I saw 1 or 2 people saying that these characters are not that good for free-to-play design characters and stuff. I have not seen the kits, but this is not a great start so far with the new World Tournament character post 10th anniversary in 2025. Like, this is not great. I will say, for the build for this character, he is a tech-type unit, so he'll have built-in crit with his in potential system. You probably want to go all in on dodge and probably nothing else. Like, not even like additional supers, because yes, he does get damage reduction and stuff, but I think really you need to build dodge just to ensure that this guy has the best chance for surviving. Like, it just feels really bad how his kit has to, like, offers, because 30% damage reduction with no guard, that's not enough. And yes, he's boosting attack and defense, but yeah, I mean, it's only temporary within the turn and stuff. Like, I just don't feel confident with this character and his performance. We'll see in game, I just don't feel good about him. Okay, we talked about his kit though, probably go full dodge on him. Let's talk about Bojack. So, Bojack, extreme physical type, key plus 3, HP attack and defense 120%, already a better lead in terms of stats, but still pretty bad leader, you don't want to use this. Super attack effect, greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy, greatly lower defense, so debuffing right there. Also, raise extreme class allies' defense by 30% for 2 turns. I love this support. Passive skill, key plus 3, attack and defense plus 170%. With the more HP that you have, his attack will increase up to 200%. When attacking, increase attack and defense by 100% and disables enemy guard. That's very interesting. Per Space Traveling Wars category ally or extreme class ally on the team, depending on which has more members, attack and defense increase by 40%, and all allies' chance of performing a crit increases by 3% other than himself. So, based on the way this works, and it looks like it includes himself based on the text, So with a full team of, let's just say, extreme class characters, like movie boss characters, right? That's 7 characters. That means that you'll be able to boost Bojack's attack and defense again by 280% right here, and you'll be giving all allies a boost to their crit chance by 21%, which I do love to support. That makes some builds pretty easy to achieve, so I do love that. When all allies are space traveling category characters or extreme class characters, performs a guaranteed crit, guards all attacks, and all allies will gain key plus 2 and attack and defense plus 30% other than himself. His link skills are pretty solid, I guess. He has big bad bosses, which is nice. Categorically speaking, only on 9 categories, but I mean, some good ones like movie bosses, tournament participants, and stuff. So we do love that, of course. I mean, he's able to link with the other Bojacks, which like, it makes perfect sense. Honestly, I like this character more than Mecha Frieza. I really do. I don't know if I want to say there's like a gap, but I feel like there's a gap between his design and Mecha Frieza's design. I don't know if I'm sounding crazy there, but the support is really good. You know, he's got a bunch of stats to offer. He's got built-in guard, which is pretty nice because this is predicated on him having all allies being in the certain type of mechanics. And in any case, you want to run those teams anyways to give him more stats and everything regardless. So it kind of feeds into itself. Honestly, I really do love it. I love that he has built-in crit, so he's a physical type unit with the same potential build. He gets free additional, so built-in crit makes him easier to build around. I love the support in general. Now, I will say for his build, I think same thing with, you know, Mecha Frieza, same thing for a lot of these free-to-play characters. You need to go dodge. You need to go dodge with this character. You can keep maybe some additional, but really probably just go all in on the dodge just to ensure survivability because, yes, he has a bunch of stats to offer. Yes, he has the guard, but that's it. He doesn't have damage reduction and stuff, so probably dodge in the hidden potential system will help him have more survivability and more value on a team. So that's what I would suggest right there for Bojack. Let's keep it pushing, right? We're kind of going through a nice pace right here, I feel like. Future Gohan. One of my favorite Gohans, by the way, just a quick aside. I just love how, you know, tough he was and how gritty he was and how he was just able to, like, kind of withstand pain and adversity. But I would love this Gohan so much. But okay, Future Gohan. Super in-type key plus 3, HP attack and defense 120%. Greatly raised attack with the super attack effect, greatly raised defense for 1 turn, cause supreme damage to the enemy. So he can greatly stack attack, so any sort of longer fight, you will see the stacking probably pay off there. Passive skill, 200% to attack and defense flat out. When attacking with 12 or more key, attack and defense increase again by 120%. When there's a Future Saga or Androids category enemy specifically, key plus 2 and attack and defense increase by 120%. Also, he has a great chance to stun the attacked enemy, provided they can be stunned, right? Of course, some bosses don't allow that. When there's another Future Saga category ally on the team, key plus 2, chance of performing a crit and damage reduction rate both increase by 30%, and his attack will increase by 120% when attacking with 12 or more key. When there's an ally whose name includes Trunks on the team, which makes sense, you know, he has a bond with Trunks and everything. When there's an ally whose name includes Trunks on the team, key plus 2, chance of performing a crit and damage reduction rate increased by 30% yet again, and defense plus 120% when attacking with 12 or more key. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Another Easy A who I like more than the New World Tournament character, because he has a bunch of damage reduction. He's an in-type character, so he's got built-in dodge with the additional. He's got stacking. He's able to do a lot of good stuff. You know, 60% damage reduction is pretty solid. You know, I mean, I wish he had some guard too, because even some characters with guard and 50% or 60% damage reduction, like, they can still get tagged, but I like his kit more than Frieza's. I really do. I really do. He's got great stats to offer. His kit, similar to Bojack, kind of feeds in onto itself, where you want to, like, have a Future Saga ally and you want to have Trunks, most likely a Future Saga Trunks, to get everything to work, so it kind of feeds into itself a bit. I do find it kind of annoying that you have to face specific types of opponents, though. That does suck, because not every opponent is from Future Saga or Androids, right? So some issues do kind of exist there, but all in the family, a fantastic defensive link. You know, he's got other great links here like Super Saiyan stuff. You know, Experienced Fighters is okay, I would say, but Shattering the Limit, I do love that. Prepare for Battle, so great stuff there. Nice categories to fit onto. Hybrid Saiyans, of course, you know, Goku's family, Super Saiyans, Cell Saga, Earthbred Fighters, Connected Hope. Also Bond of Parent and Child, Bond of Master and Disciple, Demonic Power with the Glorio support and everything. All great stuff. All great stuff. He's able to link pretty nicely with his other Future Gohan cells, with Future Trunks, so yeah, I like it. I really do like what this Gohan has to offer. I think for him, I think I'll probably say this right now, until otherwise stated, all the builds for all these characters, you probably want to go pretty much all dodge, just to play things safe. I think for Gohan, I feel the most confident giving him more additional, so maybe like 60-40 split, where it's like dodge mainly and then a bit of additional, just to give him more like survivability, but also give him more chances to stack attack and become stronger. So I think it's going to be very fun with him there. But yeah, very fun character. Okay, Mercenary Tao. Okay, so LR, of course, let's see what we can do. 150% to stats and Ki +4 to Dragon Ball Saga. Nice. Super attack effect, greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, cause colossal damage to the enemy, and have a great chance to perform a crit for 1 turn. Alright, nice. Ultra Super, the 18 key super, greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, cause mega colossal damage, and a great chance to perform a crit for 1 turn. So basically the same exact design, just with more damage and stuff, and that's really it. Okay, whatever. Passive skills, 20th anniversary. I didn't even realize that's the name of his thing, but that's okay, whatever. Receives an additional Ki +2 per key sphere obtained. Okay, nice. So that's pretty straightforward basic effect. That's not really too crazy. Okay, for every key sphere obtained, attack plus 56%, defense plus 48%. With 3 or more key spheres obtained, attack plus 75%, defense plus 64% when attacking. Wow, a lot of crazy numbers. With 10 or more key, attack plus another 108%. When receiving an attack with 10 or more key, defense plus 108%. With 50% or more HP, defense plus 100% and damage reduction rate increased by 20%. Before receiving 3 attacks in battle, damage reduction rate is up by another 20%. When HP is 50% or less at the start of the character's attacking turn after the character receives 3 or more attacks in battle, 1 turn will get another increase of 50% damage reduction, and 1 turn will have all randomly changed key series of a certain type into SDR orbs. When activating his active, attack plus 444% temporarily and does a critical hit. With the active, massively raised attack temporarily, cause ultimate damage, guaranteed stun the enemy for 1 turn, can be done if HP is 50% or less if the character receives an attack 3 or more times in battle. Wow, that was a lot of words. I'm so sorry. I kind of lost my brain there. He has some links. It is what it is. His categories, not too much. Earthbred Fighters is nice. Sworn Enemies, Earthlings, Target Goku, Dragon Ball Saga, Siblings Bond, Dragon Ball Seekers. Alright, whatever. Like, it is what it is. But this character is interesting because obviously he's a nuking type of character because you want all the orbs. He doesn't have too much orb changing to offer though. He does need the orbs in general. He needs key and stuff. I hate this because this basically takes away the 20% damage reduction that he has right here, and then after that, he has no real damage reduction to offer in his kit. It's just raw stats, not even guard. I think, yeah, I'm not a big fan of his design. I feel like there could have been more to offer. I feel like if this was 30 or 40% damage reduction and then you lose half of that, I feel a bit better. Maybe make this like 10%. But yeah, it just feels so weird. It feels like I don't like it. Like on paper, it looks like a lot, so you think it looks good. But at the same time, I just don't feel confident with it. I don't know why it is. I just don't like how it looks to me. I feel like he'll do a lot better than I give him credit, especially with dupes, which is important to note. But I think, in the grand scheme of things, with his in potential build, STR type, so built-in crit, I would still lean dodge again. Wow, another character with dodge. His super attack effects are kind of disappointing to me compared to like Bojack and Gohan. I would go in for the dodge on this character for sure, no questions asked. Like, guaranteed go with the dodge right there. Alright, let's go ahead and finish off with Tien. So, Tien, STR type, Ki +3, HP attack and defense 100% right there. Greatly raise defense for 1 turn, cause supreme damage to the enemy. Greatly lower attack and defense. So the debuffing is nice, I like that. Greatly raising defense. If you had to choose between attack and defense, I'll take the defense, but I wish he had both. Basic effect, 200% to stats and Ki +2, okay? When facing only one opponent, defense plus 250% and damage reduction rate of 30%, wow, okay? Before attacking with 12 or more Ki, damage reduction rate increased by 30% within the turn, so this will be gone after he does his attack, so this is really meant for slot 1, really, it seems like. When attacking with 12 or more Ki, attack plus 250%, high chance to do a crit, and stuns the attacked enemy for 2 turns. When the target enemy is in the attack down, defense down, or stun type of status, then his attack will increase 1 time up to 1,000 by 1,048%. I cannot talk. And then also perform a guaranteed crit. So he gets 1 turn of insane Unga Boonga Sigma damage, and that's it. And then he's pretty much just like a pea shooter for the rest of the fight. Like, that's pretty much it. So, okay, wow. Yeah, I see what people are saying. Some of these free-to-play character designs, they seem good, and some of them are, like, okay, I would say, but I wouldn't go so far as to say, wowza, this is awesome, I love this. Like, I don't feel it, like, Bojack and Gohan feel like the highlights to me, and that is kind of tough. I actually, maybe, not even Gohan, because Gohan has some issues I don't like. Bojack feels like the highlight of this whole kind of sequence for the new characters. Link skills, you got some okay links, I guess, but whatever. Categories, World Tournament is nice to have on. Dragon Ball Saga, Bond of Master and Disciple, Bond of Friendship, Final Trump Card, Earthlings, Earthbred Fighters, Tournament Participants, so yeah, it is what it is. A lot of free-to-play options to like farm his super attack, which is nice, but yeah, Tien, build dodge once again. Is that the go-to? I mean, he does get some damage reduction, which is nice and stuff. He does boost his defense and everything. But in general, I think dodge once again. All these characters feel like they need dodge to be safe. Like Bojack and Gohan, I guess I could kind of lean a bit more into giving additional, but even then, I say give all dodge to all of these characters. Play it safe. The hidden potential system needs revamping right now, because Critical hits are pretty much useless for a lot of characters. It feels like you pretty much want dodge because a lot of characters either don't dodge and they die, or like they need dodge. Like that's what it is right now. So it's just tough. But okay, so yeah, we talked about the characters. I feel like my energy kind of dropped a bit down because of the quality of some of these characters, but let's just try to keep the fun times going. We already talked about the characters and stuff. Let's keep going. So we have the Miraculous Awakening stage. I'll cover that in just a sec. We do have the Easy A battle as well for Goku and Hit. So we have their stuff right here. We do know their category weakness will be against accelerated battle characters, and they will also have weakness against LRs, right? That's just a typical LR Easy A battle. So you want to bring accelerated battle LRs. That will be the go-to for you if you want to have success when it comes to beating them. Let me go and actually look at the accelerated battle category just to see who happens to fit into the LR kind of status, which should be some few good characters, right? You have Tech Vegito, Gogeta, they're going to just mop the floor with them. Go Frieza, GT Goku, Tech UI. Yeah, this will be a cakewalk. This will be a breeze. MUI Goku, the Super Saiyan 4s, Janemba, Kaioken Goku, Great Ape Vegeta. This is no problem. This is going to be so straightforward. And even if you don't have the LRs, you still can take just in general accelerated battle characters and you can tank it and beat the fight pretty easily. You may not even need accelerated battle. You could just take a random set of LRs and probably just nuke your way through the fight. So very straightforward stuff. Honestly, this is very easy. Okay, World Tournament, we'll have that coming very soon. I don't really have any information to know off the top of my head for that, but we know it's going to be a grind fest. We know how it is. You know, it is going to be what it is. I don't like World Tournament too much, but we have to accept for what it is. There is some Dragon Stones to offer, so I do accept that, but that's pretty much it for me. Okay, finally, I guess we have to talk about like two things. So we have the Extreme Super Battle Road kind of stage for Miraculous Awakening. Again, this stage is kind of difficult because just the damage that these characters can do is pretty decent, right? 2 million basically for the supers. Go back to the previous stage before that, they were doing 1.2 million. So the damage difference is insane, but this is pretty easy to beat. You know, you just need some Beast Gohans on your team, MUI Gokus, those will make things pretty easy. You need some slot 1 characters, and then it should be pretty straightforward to beat, but you got to be a bit like careful about how you approach it. You know, don't think it's gonna be so easy. Just be careful with it, and then it should be pretty straightforward. If you guys want to like see me show you guys how to beat the stage or something like that, you know, let me know in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to do so. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, you know, it's a straightforward fight. You just got to be careful with it. The last thing I want to talk about before we wrap up the vid. So we did know that we were going to be getting new missions for the Fighting Legend Frieza fight. So obviously right down here we got 3 new stages. They're going to be coming on the 12th of May. Right now is the 7th, so 5 days from now we're going to be getting 1 stage. So these missions you have to beat it with a team full of Super Bosses characters, a team full of Mastered Evolution, and a team full of Rapid Growth. Now here's the thing. The fight itself is very easy. The missions, the categories, not too bad to achieve, but the thing about these missions is they can serve as an indicator for who we could see for the Part 2 LR because they're meant to be taking place during the Part 2 of the celebration. So, Rapid Growth, Mastered Evolution, Super Bosses. Who does that sound like to you guys? If you guys can think about it, ding, 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 you probably already have the answer in your head, right? It is Part 2, probably going to be LR Kefla, right? Kefla is a Super Bosses character, if I can find one. That's Cauliflower Kale, but obviously Kefla right down here somewhere. There we go. Kefla is a Super Boss character. If we go look at Kefla, for example, right? She is on Super Bosses, for example. She's on Rapid Growth. She's on those type of categories. So, you know, being a part of that is really awesome. I don't know. I mean, she might be on Mastered Evolution, like depending on how they design her, but you know, I think overall, this is one of those characters where it's kind of become obvious now with the missions that this is going to be what we're going to be seeing. Now, we may see something else. We have no official confirmation, right? But pretty much it's going to be Part 2 of Kefla, like Part 2 LR Kefla. Now, I wanted something else, but Kefla, I did say in my vid predicting the LRs, Kefla makes the most sense from a financial standpoint, from a sake of trying to draw in money and everything. It makes sense. So, you know, I'm fine with it. Let me know what you guys think about Part 2 LR Kefla coming in the game very soon. But yeah, I think it'll be a fun time, especially hopefully if they draw her design well, because they need to make her design really fun. A lot of people are anticipating LR Kefla. We don't have an LR Kefla in the game quite yet. We need her to be insane. I will say that right now. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. In any case, though, that's pretty much the last thing I want to cover. So let's go ahead and wrap up this vid. Again, comment down below your thoughts on the whole day to download the new characters and everything for like the World Tournament, the idea of Part 2 LR Kefla and stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed the vid, again, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, show your support. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, stay blessed, and I will see you all in the next one.